thank you for attending Penn Trafford School Board's reorganization meeting for December 3rd, 2018. I'm going to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Lego.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Beeping this stuff over here. Yeah, don't say that. You'll be getting out for month. Mrs. Issing.
Here.
Mr. Kachasik.
Here.
Dr. Koshko.
Here.
Mr. Bill Leonard is absent. Mr. Dallas Leonard.
Here.
Mr. Matarazzo is absent. Mr. Nemec.
Here.
Mr. Petrucci. Mr. Stovar.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Lego. Before I begin, I want to thank everybody for allowing me to be the school board president for the past year. It's a great honor, and we'll move to the reorganization meeting.
Before you get any further, I just want to say, I personally want to thank Mr. Chasik. He did a great job. Definitely the best dressed, double-breasted, Windsor knot tie, with a teddy bear haircut. Just perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci.
Just perfect.
Dan will be extra good to you this year.
Excellent example. Excellent example.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. All right, I appoint myself as the temporary chairperson for this reorganization meeting. We're going to start with the election of the officers. The chair will now accept nominations for the office of president.
I will now nominate Dr. Scott Kasha.
We have a nomination to Dr. Kasha as president by Nick Petrucci.
Second.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? So Dallas, now you may give me a second.
No, need a
Close the
motion.
nominations.
Need a motion to close.
Yes, to close the nominations. Mr. Leonard, do you want to give me
Okay,
a
I will
motion?
second the only nomination, Dr. Scott Kasha.
You're closing the nominations? Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Leonard. Oh, sorry, we have a motion by Mr. Petrucci. Oh, no? We
No.
have a motion by Mr. Leonard. We need a
Correct.
second
Need a second.
Close the
to
nomination.
close the
Correct.
nominations.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Sissing, that the nomination for the office, closed for the office of the president. If there are no objections, the chair will conduct a voice vote. All in favor of Dr. Kasha for president, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Here's the gavel. It's all you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kachasik.
You're welcome. Good luck, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, let me officially hand it to you. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, the chair now would accept nominations for the office of vice president.
I'll nominate Tony Issing.
Mr. Petrucci nominated Tony Issing. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? May I have a motion to close the nominations?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Petrucci. If there are no objections, the chair will conduct a voice vote. All those in favor of Tony Issing for vice president?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Tony Issing has been duly selected as vice president for 2018. Come on over, Tony.
I'm getting booted to the side now.
Bill left his son behind.
I need my name. These people don't care anymore.
Already forgotten, Phil.
I'm already forgotten.
Didn't take long.
Oh, on this side.
It's a cool side.
All right, welcome,
He's the
Tony.
cornerstone.
So,
Cool.
if I continue reading here?
Keep quiet.
Yep, just a couple of things.
Keep quiet. Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
We now establish a date and time and place for the regular monthly board meeting and Superintendent's Information Committee meetings for 2019. May I have a motion to establish date, time, place for the regular monthly board and Superintendent Information Committee meetings for 2019?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Neiman.
Motion by Mr. Nemec, second by Mr. Petrucci. To establish date and time and place for the regular monthly board meetings, superintendent information committee meetings for 2019. Meetings will be held in room 106/107 at Penn Trafford High School, Harrison City, PA, beginning at 7 p.m. unless otherwise noted. All meetings are open to the public. Any changes will be posted on the district website as below.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Use of facsimile signature. May I have a motion to authorize the Secretary of the Board of School Directors, Brett Lego, to use the facsimile signature of Scott Cossio, newly elected President of the Board of the School Directors, and further to authorize the Secretary to file the required documents with the Department of Education.
Motion.
Motion by Phil Kachasik,
Second.
second by Mr. Petrucci.
Question.
To authorize the Secretary of the Board of School Directors, Brett Lego, to use the facsimile signature of Scott Cossio, newly elected President of the Board of School Directors, and to further authorize the Secretary to file and require documents with the Department of Education. Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Appoint District Legislative Council Representative and Alternative President. An alternate. May I have a motion to appoint Mr. Jim Matarazzo as the district's Legislative Council Representative and Miss Tony Ising as the alternative representative?
Motion.
Motion by Phil,
Second.
second by Mr. Petrucci, to appoint Mr. Jim Matarazzo as the District Legislative Council Representative and Mrs. Tony Ising as the alternate representative.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. It's adjourned, though, correct?
Yep, motion.
Motion to adjourn.
By Phil, second by, may I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Petrucci, that the organization be adjourned at 7:11 p.m. Motion carried. Okay, now we'll begin our regular meeting for December 3rd of 2018. Mr. Lego, do we need to still do a roll call?
We need another roll call.
All right, please.
Mrs. Issing.
Here.
Mr. Kachasik.
Here.
Dr. Koshko.
Here.
Mr. Bill Leonard is absent. Mr. Dallas Leonard.
Here.
Mr. Matarazzo is absent. Mr. Nemec.
Here.
Mr. Petrucci. Mr. Stovar.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Lego.
You're welcome.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes of November 12th, 2018?
Motion.
Motion by Phil Kachasik,
Second.
second by Mr. Petrucci. The minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, November 12th, 2018 be approved and presented. May I have a
Question.
Question.
question being called for? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Dr. Harris, information.
Thank you, Dr. Koshko. We're going to start off with our favorite time of the month. We do this once a month where we honor all of our students of the month. And prior to doing it, I just want to give a big shout out to all my students this year because this past week we got the test results back from last year, and Penn Trafford School District ranks in the top 4% of the state. So we were number 22 out of 603. So it was great to have that honor. It was great to achieve that honor, and I thank all the principals and all the students and all the school board for everyone's support. And you might be hearing some more about that over the future, but I just thought that'd be a great way to start off today because it just happened on Friday. So thank you. And for the students, remember we have almost 4,000 students, and every year we might only pick about 24 students of the month. So if you're sitting in this room today, I just want to give you a special thank you because it is very hard to receive this award. And I just, and when the principals read everything they do, read about you, it's just amazing to see. So thank you for doing all that you're doing. I'm going to turn it over to our first school with Level Green.
I'm going to do Trafford Elementary first.
Of course, Trafford.
Okay, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Leanna Reback. Leanna is a third grade student at Trafford Elementary School. She is the daughter of Keith and Amanda Reback of Trafford, and the older sister to Colin, who is here, in preschool. Colin should be joining us next year at Trafford Elementary. Hang in there. Leanna enjoys just about everything. She mostly likes playing softball, taking part in gymnastics, and has a great time with her Girl Scout troop. She loves being around her dog Sunny and her 2 cats, Tommy and Merlot. To relax, Leanna likes to read and color. She enjoys reading so much she thinks about being a librarian someday. Sharing the joy of reading to others. She tells me, who knows, if I'm still in the area when I get older, maybe I could be a librarian in Penn Trafford. During the school, Leanna works very hard in all areas. She excels in all subject areas, but enjoys math and reading the most. Her teacher, Mrs. Sipple, who's not able to make it tonight with us, she had a little conflict in her schedule, says that Leanna is one of the sweetest, hardworking, empathetic, and responsible students, and a joy to have in her classroom. She was always looking and reaching for a challenge, wanting to make herself better, making sure she is understanding and completing her work to the best of her ability, while constantly smiling, thinking of others' well-being, and having a positive attitude. She is one of those
Excuse me,
students
Mr. Vinton just texted and said, would you please turn up your microphone just a little bit?
I thought I was talking pretty loud there myself.
I don't think you needed it.
I don't think it was on.
Right. There you go, Mr. Vinton. She is one of those students that you wish you had a whole classroom full of. Leanna definitely is a fabulous representative for the Student of the Month. In conclusion, I asked her what she likes about attending Trafford Elementary, and her response was, we have great teachers, and she enjoys being around all of her friends. I know tonight she had a after-school program with the Crafty Shack, and she was a little nervous about making it here tonight. Leanna, we are glad you're able to make it, and congratulations on being the Student of the Month.
On behalf of the district, the administration, and the school board, we'd like to congratulate us being Student Month. We're very glad you're a student of our district. We're very proud of you.
Okay, Mason, come on up. Next, we have Mason Driscoll. Mason is a 5th grade student at Level Green Elementary. Mason is in Mrs. Brillier's class, who is here with us this evening. He is the son of Ryan and Heather Driscoll, and the older brother to Ella and Levi, who are both 3rd grade students at Level Green. Mr. and Mrs. Driscoll, just to let you know, having all 3 of your students in our school, you guys really do have good kids, and we thank you for that. Good family. Mason is a hockey player. A little bit upset. Just got word he had a game tonight at 6:45. But apparently he gets a lot of ice time, so there's plenty more of that. Hang in there. He loves going to the ice rink to skate and play hockey as much as he can, and hopefully someday be a part of an NHL team. Mason also enjoys spending time at their camp. He says there are so many things to do. Riding quads, fishing, and playing in the streams are all things he looks forward to. He said something about maybe this coming weekend, Dad, about hooking the sleds up to the back of the quad and pulling them all over the place. He says he really likes going to camp because he gets to spend time with his family. Mason is in his final year of eligibility at Level Green. He is an A student. He enjoys attending school because he gets to see his friends every day. His favorite subject is math, but lunch and recess are right behind. Overall, Mason says he enjoys everything about school because he just likes to learn. That was a good answer there. His teachers state that Mason works hard and always tries his best. He's very kind and tries to include students who are working or playing alone. He is always polite to others. Mason has a natural curiosity for both social studies and science. Often he is the leader of his group during projects and assignments. It's a pleasure having him in class every day. Mason has no definite plans for the future right now. He enjoys doing what he's doing right now, and that's just being a kid. Mason, we're excited to have you at Level Green and wish you the best as you move on. Congratulations on being a student of the month. Stanley. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. I'd like to introduce Ella Morocco. Ella Morocco is an 8th grade student at Trafford Middle School and is this month's Student of the Month. She's the daughter of Heather and Michael Morocco, and the older sister of Chase, a 6th grade student at Trafford Middle School. And Chase, I believe you were standing up here at one time, is that right? All right. And Miles, a 4th grader at Sunrise. So welcome. Ella's academic accomplishments as a student is difficult to ignore. She is a high honor student. She has earned all A's, except for one, in her 3 years at the middle school. It is obvious that Ella takes her grades serious, but is truly interested in the importance of learning. Although Ella is a strong student, she also recognizes the importance of being involved in the community and in her school. She's involved with the morning announcements, oftentimes taking over when Mr. Y is not there. She's involved is a member of the Bible club at school. She serves as the treasurer for our student council and helps run our new school store at lunchtime. She has demonstrated a high level of leadership in all that she does. And quite honestly, I've never seen a young lady in our school that was such a go-getter and dedicated to her or her team's task. She takes charge, that's for sure. Ella is also a dedicated athlete and is passionate about field hockey. She said that she can't wait to play for the high school. She loves to sing. In fact, was asked to sing at the Mark Milvat show this year. Is that at the Bynum, Ms. Morocco? So I interviewed her brother. Interviewed Chase this morning. I said, so how's your big sis? She's nice. He said that, well, he did say that, but he said that you often think of others before you think of yourself. And that's a common thread that I heard from other students and staff as well. Here's what some of our teachers say. The first words that come to my mind is trustworthy. You can follow that up with kind-hearted and extremely mature. Ella is not a typical middle school student. For me, she falls into the I wish I had 20 of her category. I'm fortunate to work with her during morning announcements. She really embraces the opportunity to deliver the day's message to school. She has a great personality and truly puts others first. She often discusses her classes with friends, and you can tell that she truly cares about her academics. Another teacher says Ella is personable, well-spoken, kind. She has an exceptional work ethic, which translates to success in the classroom. She is always prepared and willing to help anyone. With all of these positive traits, Ella displays a humility and demonstrates a maturity not often seen in 8th grade students. Ella is one of the most expressive writers that I've had as a student. I will always remember her beautiful tribute to her father for Veterans Day. Sir, thank you for your service. She is kind, spunky, fun, and a unique child. Ella is an inspiration to all of us. So, little story about Ella. She volunteered to help decorate our giving tree the other day, and I go out there and she's stringing the lights, and so I said, "Here, let me show you. First, we got to turn them on so that you can see. And we want to start at the bottom." She goes, "See, I learn something every day at this school." So, Mom, Dad, she's ready to start stringing the lights anytime soon. Ella, congratulations on it.
Thunder tomorrow.
And lastly, we have from our high school, Mr. Koyo.
like to call to the front Dallas Clark, senior Dallas Clark. She's joined here by her father, James, her mother, Michelle, and her older brother, Dylan. Thanks for coming and supporting her. I'd like to congratulate you, Dallas, on being named Student of the Month for the high school. In addition to being compassionate, selfless, and honest, teachers would use the words driven, thoughtful, and always showing initiative while being resourceful. Her community service goes unmatched as she's a vital part of our community action program, giving up her personal time to always helping others. She has volunteered at the events such as the Veterans Drive, as well as the Haunted Hills Hayride that gives the proceeds to the Autism Society of Pittsburgh. This is especially important because it leads to one of her personal goals after high school, majoring in special education at Seton Hill. She works extremely hard academically, and as a senior, continue to load her schedule with honors and AP English and social studies classes. She balances those tough academic classes out with her passion for singing and performing, as she currently takes multiple chorus classes, I think you take 3 chorus classes this year. This leads to her second goal of being accepted into the musical education program at Seton Hill and double majoring in not only special education, but music education. Great goals, and I know you do well in those. Her love of special education and helping others can be seen over and over again by Dallas. I remember the day I bumped into her in the hallway as she was looking for a student with special needs. You see, the schedule was different that day. Kids were kind of all over the place, and she took it upon herself to make sure every kid was accounted for and knew their way around the building and were in the right classes. Always thinking of others, that's what she does. I actually have a meeting set up with her later this week as she begins to plan stages of starting a buddy program here at Penn Trafford. I look forward to her getting this off the ground, as I know it'll be a great program just to add to our building. Dallas keeps herself busy as she's also the bowling team captain and is part of the drama guild in school. Outside of school, she participates in performances at Stage Right, as well as teaching youngsters there with their performance classes. Her peers have voted her as having the most school spirit, as we've seen time and time again at football games and other events as a cheerleader. She's a true ambassador of our school, 2018 homecoming queen, must I say more? Actually, we'll say some more. Noble Warrior winner, high honor student, choral officer, and all-around great person. If all of this isn't enough, you can always catch her at Dairy Queen, where she'll make what you call a mean blizzard. In all seriousness, she's a model student and represents PT to the fullest. Congratulations to Dallas on being High School Student of the Month.
Your kind of kids are what make this district great. Congratulations and kudos to all of you for the effort you've done.
We're just going to take a moment to get a photo for the press of all the winners for Student of the Month.
You gotta go get your
If the parents want to stand behind and take a picture too, that's okay. That's okay as well.
Really? I thought you were still.
Yeah, I will.
Does Mike come to the?
Yes, when he is there, I have to for the
Do all these.
I want to put some pizza there. You want a sandwich or something else?
Is that what we're doing?
Well, it's on. I said some people don't like to do that.
I like the wings.
Yeah, we want something else.
I might get salad.
Yeah, I'll blame you.
He's coming. I mean, he hopes to meet us, but I have.
Is he gonna hand off?
I'm prepared to handle. Yeah, I do. That's all anybody cares. They're like, do you have, not Christina, do you have the all-important card? I do. I do.
But we have a whole principal meeting too. Okay. I just did 6 pizzas. But I thought that's.
Oh, yeah.
Did they have good salads? I'm just gonna get side salad. I'm gonna get side salad, so wings.
See ya.
Thank you.
He does a lot of
Just don't forget to take me with you wherever you go.
Who are you?
A couple other things for under information.
You know.
I'm trying to illustrate.
I know the student union representative wasn't here. I was on comment. He was in the play Hunchback of Notre Dame this past weekend and did an excellent job with attendance. We're not attendance for a drama about 300 per play. It's not very as much as the musical, but the play was outstanding. Did you have any comments for the play, Tony? Or
Yeah, great, talented kids, and they actually announced their musical today, Adam's Family. So
Adam's Family.
Are you, who's Mr.
looking forward to that as well.
Hey, Dr. Harris, I know you already mentioned this, but I wanted to acknowledge, the 3 principals here, and there's 9 principals total, but these guys did a great job, and especially even at their buildings. The test scores this year were phenomenal. Everybody, these 3 buildings, made significant gains, and all the buildings did very, very well. Like you said, one of the top 22 schools in the entire state is nothing to bat an eye at. So you guys did a fabulous job, so appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. DiNapoli, both your elementary schools top 5%.
Yeah,
Too.
Brett already told me.
And keep that
Just to
up.
throw it back to Mr. Inglace and Dr. Harris too, they were well informed of everything that was going on. They kept, meeting with individuals throughout each school, every grade level, nonstop throughout the school year. And that was a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, we appreciate your support.
It means a lot. And also thank the teachers.
Yes.
Yes.
That's so, I know the leadership is
We thank
important.
them every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get a little tired. I mean, sometimes we get on them, and we're always after different things and getting on things, but at the end of the day, it all pays off. It's worth it. It feels good when you get the results. So
I mean,
Absolutely.
I thought when Dr. Clooney was here, top 10% in the state was great, but hats off to you gentlemen. Top 4% is incredible.
Great staff.
Keep it up. Please keep it
Great
up.
staff, great admin, great students, parents. We have great school board support. You've always given us when we needed academics, anything, say if it's for the kids, do it. So I appreciate that. A couple other events coming up. Penn Middle 6th grade chorus concerts tomorrow night, 7:30. Penn Middle 7th and 8th grade chorus is December 6th is 7:30. The Penn Trafford High School concert mix, select ovation, and an encore. It's on the Saturday night at 7:30. We usually get about 1,000 people for that. That's usually a nice turnout. Penn Middle Band concert is December 12th. Trafford Middle Band Assembly is December 13th. They already had their chorus concert last week and it was excellent. She did the whole Home Alone theme, and it was very well done. I never actually seen that as a chorus concert, but somehow Mrs. Rumball just did it. And I like what she did. She incorporated a lot of the kids from the band in her chorus concert. Something different for just to see.
And I have to add, it was the first show with our new stage lights and stage curtains, so I want to thank you all for that. It was awesome. They were able to put together a little mini light show with the new lights, but thought it looked really, really good.
They did a great job, and you're right, it really made a difference, the stage. The high school band concert's December 15th to 7th. So we have a lot of concerts and opportunities coming up to be sung to and performed to. So take advantage. We have a lot of talent at Penn Trafford. The school calendar for next year, I know it's on board to approve tonight. Not really any changes because we pretty much follow the same schedule. The only thing to note is this year, December 20th is a Friday. So instead of having the students come back on that Monday, the 23rd, we have it off this year because it's just the way the calendar fell. But we still actually start the Thursday before, the Thursday, August 22nd, and our last day is the Friday before Memorial Day. And then some different policies that are on board tonight to approve or tentatively approve deals with policy 246. It's a healthy school environment. Basically, it adds more information regarding training for staff and students and promotes environmental studies to students. And we also have 704 maintenance, and this is basically the requirement for water testing for lead in schools. So those are policies on board for tentative approval. And of course, I already talked about the ones that you're approving tonight, and they deal with school wellness, reduction in staff, child abuse, food services, school vehicle drivers, drug use and alcohol misuse prevention, receipt of drug and alcohol misinformation, and reasonable cause, reasonable suspicion form. We kind of talked about that before because it's already been on agenda for a couple times now. And finally, for program of studies, Mr. Coyle, do you have the information for program of studies?
Yeah, I do.
Changes?
So it's really basic this upcoming year. I made some minor changes. Removing 3 courses from the program of studies, Algebra 3, which is no longer needed with our progression of mathematics. Seniors are either taking the higher level pre-calc classes or higher, or a business math. So that's kind of faded out. Our Advanced Studio Art 3 class, low numbers, kids who are really focused on art as a possible future, either going to take an AP course or different types of art. By the time they get to Art 3, they kind of fade out. So the art department's suggestion was to rule that out. And finally, sports medicine will no longer be offered, obviously, with the retirement of Mr. Cooper last year. He was the only one that's certified to teach that course, so we do need to eliminate that. Additions, Biology A and Biology B. It's going to be our same course, just broken down into 2 years for struggling learners or people who have difficulty with the PSSAs. Scores are very well. Only see maybe 1, possibly 2 sections of that course, but basically slowing down the curriculum over 2 years versus the quick response in 1 year. And the final other addition was the Honors Geoscience. A lot of our kids go into physics, chemistry, biology, those AP courses. There's really no honors level science class for anyone that wants any other track within our curriculum. So we're going to offer that. Hopefully leads to them some STEM careers. Revisions, English 12. In the past, we've had it broken down into semester classes. So a student will take 1 semester class followed by another. We're going to just combine those this year so they're full year classes, easier as far as scheduling, and probably will help with class sizes and staffing needs. Then finally, an astrophysics class, which we already offer. We've had people interested in it, but unfortunately, in this day and age, some kids won't take certain classes unless they're honors. So we're going to revamp that curriculum and offer it as an honors course, tie it to some college credit with dual enrollment to try to spike those numbers up to get those kids to take that classes. So another course that we're looking forward to offering this year. That's really it for the program studies for this year, for next year, I should say.
We're potentially looking at some music courses, maybe?
Possible musical courses with some staffing changes in the near future, so. Yeah.
I appreciate it, and that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. This time we have recognition of visitors, which I do not believe we have.
We have none, Mr. President.
Okay, treasurer's report.
None this month because of the earliness of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Lego. At this time, we do have some payment of bills. May I have a motion to approve the payment of bills for the month of December 2018?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Petrucci.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nemec.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Old business, Mr. Lego.
None this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Lego. We did have an executive session today at 5:30. During that executive session, we discussed personnel, litigation, confidential matters, and school rankings with the PSSA and Keystone test scores. Once again, great job, administration and our teachers on that great achievement of moving up from previous year. Good job. New business, we do have a few things. Athletics and extracurricular, Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Dr. Costo. Move to employ the following personnel. New employees contingent upon the receipt of all necessary certification, documentation, and extensions of Act 34, 151, 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Employment is effective for 2018-19 school year unless otherwise noted. Philip Moses and Brandon Piles as listed.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to accept the following resignations. Russ Bayless, Christine Falcone, Matthew Lego, Gregory Martz, Nicholas Pedanza, as listed.
Second?
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to approve Mr. Rich Ginther's request to take the wrestling team to 2 overnight tournaments as follows, and they are very popular tournaments. King of Mountain Tournament in Central Mountain High School and Powerade Tournament at Cannon McGill.
Second?
Question.
Question being called for. This is a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Budget and Finance, Mr. Phil Kachasik.
All right, we're fine with that. Thank you, Mr. President. Move to award contract for copiers to ComDoc, Inc. for 60-month lease at $7,396 per month beginning January 1st, 2019.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. This is a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
That's all for this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kachasik. Buildings and Grounds and Safety, Mr. Dallas Leonard.
I have nothing for tonight under Buildings, Grounds, and Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Employee Relations, Negotiation, Transportation, Mrs. Ising.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Ising. Food Service, Mr. Nemec.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Nemec. Personnel and Curriculum, once again, Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to approve the following list of additional substitute teachers and support personnel for the month of December 2018.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to employ the following personnel, new employees contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation and acceptance of Act 34, 151, 114 waivers from Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days. Tammy Hampshire, Alexis Newingham, Rachel Saxinger, and Jane Long, as listed.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to approve the following student-teacher assignments. Co-op teacher Ryan Dusick and Charles Gates. The student teachers Catherine Haygood. They're from the, what school?
IUP.
IUP.
IUP, I'm sorry, I missed that. And Seton Hill, the co-op teachers Caitlin Borden and Lisa Konopka. The student teachers are Laura Carestis and Laura Carestis again. And their assignments are as listed.
Second?
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
I'd just like to mention that we don't get too many physics people, do we, Dr. Harris?
Yeah, not too
We
often.
actually, to be honest with you, we actually had 2 requests this year, which is.
Which
Which
is
is
kind of
very,
fun.
I mean, because they're in so much demand, and they can pick the school they want to be a student
Yeah.
teacher at. They're just, that's
We had
excellent.
to turn somebody away this year.
Yeah,
How many roughly do
that's hard to
teachers
believe.
we take per year, Scott?
Oh, probably half a dozen or so.
Yeah. All right, move to accept the following retirement resignations: Jacqueline Geibel, Lee Esther Gongaware, and Patricia Ludwig, as listed.
What's position number 5? Question.
That's her time at the Penn Middle. Everyone has a different position when they're bidding. She currently holds position 5, it's 11 to 7.
That's the time for any custodians work at.
Oh, okay. All right. Wasn't familiar with that.
Any other questions?
I need a second. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Question.
Question being called for, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
I just wanted to jump in there because usually we don't have retirements that early in this year, but I definitely feel the need to say something for all three.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Jackie Geibel has been a music teacher at almost every school in the district, and we're really going to miss her at the high school. She's also been she's been at every school, the Penn Middle, the elementary school, and always wanted to give something different and unique to the schools. And Mr. Kohler, do you have something?
Yeah, she's been great for us here with all she does with the choral department and the concerts and things. Been good for kids, and not just as a teacher, but as a support person as well, so we will miss her.
I had a student one year, I was trying to make sure to get them to graduate, we was going through how to make sure they graduate, and she told me that the only reason, she said the only thing I can't change is her chorus schedule, because that's the only reason she comes to school. So, and that was with Mrs. Geibel as the teacher, so I do remember her telling me that. Lee Esther is actually Gigi Gongaruri. I always call her it's always with Gigi. She's one of our technology assistants, and she is definitely going to be missed. I've had her this year. She's going to have to write down everything that she does, because I don't think no one knows exactly what Gigi does, because she does so much, and it's all technology based, and she puts a lot of extra hours into the job, and she volunteers also with like the theater department, and gives a lot of herself to the job. And all my educational programs that are running, she's in charge of them. So she's behind. We definitely need to give her a lot of things, and she will be missed. And Dan, is she at one of yours?
Yeah, she comes to both. She basically hits all the.
She does all the schools now.
Yeah, I mean,
She does everything. She's a.
no wonder she's retiring.
She's a workhorse.
I don't blame her.
She's put on the spot so many times, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
Not a bad.
She doesn't miss a beat.
Something comes out.
A lot on her
Right.
shoulders. She fixes it all. She's
She even
good.
helped me with my phone when I was having difficulties, so I do appreciate that. And Patty Ludwig, I mean, for her to take, I know she's retiring, she took the shift for, in years, loved it, but the 11 to 7 shift, which is always a hard one, and with all her seniority, she never pretty much left it at Penn Middle. I wish Jim was here tonight. Did anyone else have Patty in her building? Probably not, because she's been pretty much with this position that very rarely is one of the people I don't actually see, because it is 11 to 7. I'm not usually ever at Penn Middle at that time during the night, but during the summer hours when she's around, she always has a smile on her face, and she always wants to make the school better for the kids and make sure because she has that philosophy where she's there to make the school as clean and safe of environment for the kids, and she takes a lot of pride in her work. So we'll also miss Patty. So we're losing 3 good ladies this year, unexpectedly. So thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's all
All
right.
right.
You did good. Okay, move to accept the following resignations: Marcus Beacon, Sandra Klein, April Lowther, as listed.
Second.
Question?
Question being called for, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to approve the following leave request: Maria Franz and Patricia Ludwig, as listed.
Second.
Question?
Question being called for, this will be a roll call vote, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to approve the Penn Trafford School Program of Studies 2019, 2020, I'm right, as presented to the board.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for, this will be a roll call vote, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to adopt the 2019-20 school calendar as recommended by the superintendent and make it part of the official minutes. The 2019-20 school year will begin an in-service meeting on Monday, April 19th, 2000.
August 19th.
I'm sorry, August season. Too much, Nick, too speed. And August 19th, 2019 will officially terminate June 30th, 2020. The last day of instruction in grade K-11 will be Friday, May 22nd, 2020, unless it's become necessary to extend the school calendar because of weather conditions, emergencies, or other urgent reasons.
Second?
Question.
Question being called for, this will be a roll call vote, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to adopt 2019-2020 service employees calendar and mark it part of the official minutes. The calendar with 248 working days and 14 paid holidays make a work year of 262 days. Yearly employees will be paid for 262 days, including the paid holidays.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. Policy, Public Relations, Legislative, Title II, Mr. Stovall.
A couple things. Move to accept and file the minutes of the Superintendent's and Information Committee meeting held on November 5th, 2018.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to appoint the following Recreation Board representatives, Penn Township reps, Mr. Phil Kachasik and Dr. Scott Costo, Trafford Borough Rep, Mr. Rick Petrucci.
Second.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to appoint the following as PTARC representatives, Mr. Nick Petrucci, Dr. Matthew Harris, Mr. Greg Cappuccioni, Mr. Stan Rudge, and Mr. Mike Ginsberg as an alternate.
Second.
I'm sorry, and I also move to appoint Mr. Bill Leonard as the WIU Board Representative effective December 2018.
That's number 4, Mark.
Yeah, but there was nothing.
They're together, yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
It's fine.
Need a second by
Second stands. Yeah.
Mr. Leonard? Question?
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to give final approval to the following board policies and administrative regulations. A copy of these policies and regulations will become an official part of the minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Move to tentatively approve the following board policies and administrative regulations as listed.
Second.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
That's all I have tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Stovall. Taxes, insurance, census, Mr. Dallas Leonard.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve Tax Resolution Act 1 Taxpayer Relief Act limiting the tax increase for the 2019-2020 fiscal year to 3.0%. A copy of this resolution will be filed with official minutes of this meeting.
Yes.
What is that? In millage? Best guess?
It's around 3.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Petrucci.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Solicitor report.
I do not have a report this evening.
Thank you. And we do not have the PTA representative. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
At, what time is it? 7:52? Meeting is adjourned.
Going to the tower, everybody. We're going to the tower.
Well, what about the vote tech then? I hope to see everybody.
Oh, yeah. December